Three, two, one, and hitting the button now.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to edition 212, a palindromic edition of the CantinaMX Podcast. My name is John Jagu. Glad to have you with us. We have a full slate of topics that we must get to very quickly here on the CantinaMX Podcast. We won't dilly-dally too much. We have to talk Leagues Cup. There's a final. Games played yesterday in Los Angeles and in Cruz Azul. And then we'll talk about Liga MX, and we'll talk about other leagues around the world and an upcoming call-ups and whatever else we end up discussing here in the CantinaMX podcast. Loyal listeners know can sometimes go into some very interesting directions, which this evening, but it's great to be back with you guys. My name is John Jagu. I have a full slate of folks joining us tonight here at the CantinaMX Podcast. We're on Discord, actually, right now, and I'm not sure, Chiquis, maybe you could explain. Well, if you're on Discord, if you're listening to us live, you can probably request to join our little conversation here. And with that, but without further ado, let's introduce our panel. Joining us from Kyle, Texas, Alberto El Chiquis Campa joins us. Chiquis, you were in Houston last night, so you'll give us a full report on that.
Yeah, Houston was pretty fun. I've been to a few Dynamo games. That was definitely one of the most packed stadiums and loud stadiums, I would say, in Houston with American Tigres. And yeah, Discord, pretty easy audio app for chatting. Usually a lot of gamers use it. So that's what we're on. And yeah, we can, if need be, have guests pretty easily. So yeah, glad to be here with you guys.
Well, thanks, Chiquis, and again, we'll get your full report on what was happening both inside and outside BBVA Stadium in downtown Houston. Also joining us from Southern California is Joel Aceves. Joel, how are you, sir?
Hewlett John, I am doing very good. I'm still enjoying that Carlos Vela golazo he gifted us the other night.
Yeah. Was it four guys he faked out in yard box? Joel, was it four?
Yes, sir. And the guy sliding, just just gave, it was the cherry on the top. The last guy that tried to slide in,
Right.
do a last ditch save.
It was a very nice goal. Probably one of definitely a goal that would be nominated for the Pushkash, which also came out with their list of nominations this week. Which we
It's a bittersweet goal though, John.
it is. It
Because
is. I think that's. But we'll talk about that. We'll let you have your one little toquecito here, and then we'll move on. Go ahead. Bittersweet goal.
well, my Chilla hermanos are not gonna like this, but
Oh,
you know,
hang on a second. Hang on. Let me get the Chi hermano. Let me get the Chi hermanos ready. Okay, the Chi hermanos are ready, Joel.
yeah, man, because it's more likely that if Bella did go to Liga MX, that he would play with America. He is
Now,
closer to Coapa than to Guadalajara, man. Verde
if I,
Valle is far away.
and we will we'll talk about this in a moment. But if I'm not mistaken, Joel, there was some very bad blood when Vela left Chivas.
There was
Did
indeed,
it?
sir.
Yeah. But we'll talk. We got to introduce other people, Joel. So we don't want to.
No.
We can't blow our wad in the first 15 seconds of the show. You know. So let's pace ourselves. Let's pace ourselves, Joel. But I do know where you're going. Before we get to that, though, we'll talk a Leagues Cup, like I said. Before we do that, we do have to introduce one last person joining us from From where are we being joined from this evening?
Philly. I'm still in Philly right now.
Still in Philadelphia. Philadelphia. Philadelphia, who's having a very good MLS season, Ron. The Union
Yeah,
playing well.
yeah. It's about time.
How much of that is due to Marco Fabian? What is the Fabian temperature? What is his temperature there in Philadelphia? Has he been good for them, bad for them, indifferent?
Well, from the first, I remember the first couple of weeks when he came on board, I did see a lot of his, face plastered on billboards, in and around the city. But I haven't seen any really more billboards on him. Like, like the hype is kind of like, over.
Well, aside from the hype, I mean, how much has he actually helped the team?
I think it's more of a combination of, not one player, but just the team being a bit more, bit more cohesiveness than before, But they still have to finish strong, and that's one of that's always been the case with Philadelphia, is that they tend to burn out towards the end,
That's something that I notice that happens with Dallas and Houston toward the end of the MLS season, because they're playing the second half of the season in the worst possible time you could play, and the teams just get worn down.
Yeah.
It ended up costing. It ended up costing Wilmer Cabrera his job there at Dynamo with the team. Second half of the year slide, but it's tough. Ron, you live down here. It's it's hard running and it's not just they have to do it during the week too. So it's not like they're just playing in it once every 2 weeks. They're in it constantly. It wears on you.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
I know you've gone soft on us there up in Philadelphia. You probably
I don't think I could take that humidity.
85 degrees and 60% humidity. You're probably probably dying.
No, when I was over there, it's like, when I used to live out there, it never bothered me. I was just so used to it,
Right.
But like I said, being up here for so many years now, like June, July, it's kind of unbearable for me, right now. I got used to the cold. I like the cold now more than the heat. So that's pretty. Like I said, I was, when I was watching the game, I'm in and all those guys, they were playing. It's like not even like it seemed like their shirts were already drenched before the the kickoff.
Right.
And so it was a tough game, and I'm surprised they played at the pace that they did for as long as they did. Both teams, and because they played, America played, what was it, Toluca, and played them in Toluca. So
Right.
and you're playing in that at that elevation, and then you come down to basically almost sea level.
Well, don't forget. That is a huge advantage to those teams, because when you go, I speak from experience. When you live at altitude for as long as you do, and you go down and do something at sea level, you're going to have a lot more lung capacity, a lot more.
Yeah.
And also, I know that it's hot, but it's like as soon as the sun goes down, it's not nearly as awful as it could be, and the sun's starting to go down a little later. So they had that. No, it was of course, I think what we're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, is the Leagues Cup match that was played in Houston last night.
Yeah. Well, was it last night or was it?
Or was it Tuesday night? It was Tuesday night.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Well, I don't know what the hell it was. It was earlier in the week. And Chiquis, you were in Houston for the CantinaMX podcast, and you got to experience it firsthand, as you mentioned. Aside from the game, Chiquis, what were your thoughts on this whole?
I was well. First of all, the stands. I was looking at the fans and want to see how they were supporting the teams. When I first got there,
Mm-hmm.
I could hear the Tigres fans pretty loud. They were packed pretty much their section, and they were singing and everything at the beginning of the game. And
They got there
America,
early, did they? Were
yeah, they were actually there, and I think it was interesting because the America side was sort of sparse, and there was not too many, a few flags and things, but it, as the game went on, it seemed to be really intentional because they put up that flag, they put up that banner that said, we're what did they say? We're here late, or no, we're here late because we're playing Equipo Chico. So, so the Monumental guys, they pretty much planned that. They planned to arrive late. They planned to then put that banner up. And what I really liked was
well, I
they
mean,
switched banners as the game went. They had like other
really?
banners that they rotated in. That one was only there for the beginning of the, that was the first banner they put up, and that was it. They put the other banners up, unrotated them, and then they were actually the loudest throughout the whole rest of the game. They were just singing like crazy, and I put a video of both sides, of the second half on the Twitter account. But yeah, the America fans were definitely had took the best, were the loudest, and did a good job towards the whole throughout the whole game. Tigres fans sort of just faded off as the game went through, but yeah, it was pretty
So
fun
does anyone
fun
know?
night.
Does anyone know how much cash is in? I mean, what the prize money for is for this little tournament? Because I'm guessing it's going to be a little heftier than
Prize money?
should be.
I do not know. Trying to
I don't know
look
if
it up.
that's ever been disclosed. They should disclose that, so make it part of the whole.
That'd have been a good question for uh, while I was over there for Gabe.
Gabe Gabor.
Yeah, he
Actually, you know
was.
what? I think I will because I'm going to be in Las Vegas.
He did say that that was the second most. It was interesting. He said that was the second most attended game in the BBVA Stadium in Houston. There, the first one actually being a playoff game against I think it was Port. No, it was Seattle. I think it was Seattle and Houston was the number one. Um, he also started the press conference with Tuca after the game, and Tuca had to sort of steer it in the typical direction of "Una dama, por favor." So he made sure, and then Gabe followed suit and made sure to ask any ladies if they wanted to ask a question first, and a couple did, and then the men were able to join. Oh, but after that, I got to tell you this. After the press conference, there's this one Argentinian guy. He was just like yelling at some other guy. He said he's the one that's a male chauvinist, uh, forcing the women to ask the first question, and he was like just like complaining. Oh, that was pretty funny. He was some Argentina press guy over there.
Was he domestic or was he like from Argentina? Argentina.
He was from Argentina. He had like the straight Argentina accent. I don't know if it didn't sound. He was an
You
older
don't.
guy too. He was like gray haired older guy.
So you
He
don't know if
sounds
he
like
was
Ricardo
domestic.
Lavolpe.
I don't think he was, from the states or anything. It seems like he's from. I mean, he might be new to the states or so. I have no idea. It was pretty interesting to hear him complain and sort of out of anger, really like complain about Tuca being, trying.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did he do that in front of Tuca?
how long has Tuca? No,
No.
I seriously, because you know what would happen if that happened in front
Well,
of
Tuca
Tuca.
said
That would
in
be
the press conference, he says, "You do things to my face, unless you're, or if you're not, if you don't do things to my face, you're a coward." But now Tuca left.
Usted no me va a decir qué carajo tengo que hacer.
And apparently somebody like threw some. He actually said. He actually said orine. He said they threw beer or piss and stuff on him, and so that's why he complained during the first half with one of the fans. And Gignac was like trying to look and identify who it was, and in the press conference he clearly said, because they asked him what happened. He said there's some guy attacked him, and so he said, but he did it from behind. and he says those kind of guys are cowards because I'm a person who does things de frente. So he
I
was
call
sort of,
bullshit on that. I call bullshit on
oh
that.
yeah, that's a typical response from from a
Yeah,
guy.
because you remember, I mean, you can Google the thing with Tuca, where he was trying to get, other people to remember. I think at the time he was trying to get, which this is would surprise me because, I mean, you would think that his loyalties would be with Pumas, you know, but it seems like he has like I think his loyalties are more with the Tigres organization. But remember, he was trying to get other people to rough up these fans from Pumas. You remember that a couple years back?
No,
Oh.
No,
when he was with Tigres.
yeah, when he was at Tigres, like he was
Trying to get people to be physically violent,
in fact, I'm gonna try to Google
altercate.
Tuca Ferretti. Um, Let me see. I'm trying to Google this.
Well, that's a typical like guy who wants to stand up for. I mean, you don't like to be made a fool of and get thrown beer at you from because the stands are pretty close to the bench there, and people were throwing things at Noel Guzman during penalty kicks, and that's even further away than from where Tuca was. So they could have got Tuca pretty easily, and apparently they did. I didn't see it, um, and they were pointing, trying to find who was doing that, and so he got pretty. He expressed some upset feelings after the game, calling the guy a coward and all of that. But yeah, I don't blame him for that. But things happen.
I think just going off of Tuca's loyalty with Tigres, I think that organization has given him so much. I do see him as being, and John, you might want to do earmuffs. I do see Tuca
No le voy a
being
discutir con usted.
more Tiger than Puma
Well, I think that has to do with Mejia Baron,
as
and I mean,
well.
no, I mean Mejia Baron. He's been with that institution now for a long time.
Yeah,
So I mean,
I mean, he
and
really did mellow Tuca out when he got there.
so I mean that's
he did what to him?
He mellowed him out. He. I mean, he's like his bench coach.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Mejia Baron, Ron, didn't he watch the game from above?
Yeah, he does. He still gets. I mean, I'm by no means am I taking credit, taking anything away from Tuca, but Mejia Baron, he does. It's kind of like it's kind of like. Remember that type of relationship that La Puente had with Nacho Palau?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bench coach. It's the guy that the coach, he asks for advice from this guy.
Yeah, but the
What
thing
should I
is
do?
see, yeah, but he's not really the bench. He's actually more up in the stands in the palco.
No, I understand that, but I mean, but the position is called the bench coach.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he's the coach's coach.
yeah. So like basically, and it's funny because back then, La Puente was crucified for this, or Nacho Palau is like, why the hell are you, you having a coach for America and really it's La Puente doing that, from up in the palcos and with a walkie-talkie, but.
Yeah, it was America. Can attack them but Tuca's son, I don't know his name, but he also works with Tigres. So I mean, it's an institution that just roped him in, and if he
Well,
has
that
his
would obviously
family
be
working there,
el Tucatito.
so I do think we're gonna see Tuca just linked with Tigres for a long time. Even after he retires, he might just be there as.
Well,
Do
I
you
mean,
know,
I
do,
mean,
do you
honestly,
know
let's.
do you know if Tuca's a naturalized citizen in Mexico?
I don't see how he couldn't be. I mean, he's been there for almost 50 years now, so
He
I'm
never
sure he
left.
is.
I don't. For some reason, I thought I read somewhere that he wasn't. But it's like I don't see him leaving, dude. I mean, I don't see him buying Ferraris and like in Brazil. You know what I mean?
No, he's gonna say and probably end up doing TV.
Oh, you see him doing
Tuca'd be
TV?
great. Tuca'd be great for TV, man. He's got the looks. He's got a great temperament, and well, not temperament, but personality. He'd be perfect for TV.
You would have to offer him a lot of money because Tuca does not need money. This guy he's set, man.
He is. I mean,
He's already set.
You know what? And that's the thing about we talk about Liga MX and we talk about how coaches. I mean, they just didn't Chelis get canned this week? Is that who got
Yes,
the
sir.
boot?
He
So he'll be
became the
back,
first.
and he'll be back. What by 2021?
He
Chelis is
would,
back
yeah,
anyway.
he would have to wear to next season, just because of the league rules.
And
So
so we're talking 4 games into the season, and the coach has already been. And Tuca has been at Tigres for 10 years.
Yeah, they gave him. Seems like they just gave him free reign, and it's worked for them.
Yeah, so he is not going to go anywhere.
Well, when is his contract end? Didn't he say that he was going to retire
Next
after his
year.
contract?
Yeah,
Yes,
2020.
next year.
So he's going to retire then, huh? For good.
He's gonna leave when the Chua comet appears in the sky.
Oh,
I guarantee you, if he wouldn't have won with with Chivas, you wouldn't have took around, so many years later after the fact.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I do think that helped him a lot, but
The fact that he scored a goal against America to win, right off the bat, people are going to love him for that. Right off the bat,
yeah. I mean, Tuca's he's a legend as a player and a coach. Aside from that goal, which was just what a way to end your career. I mean, your last goal in your last ever in the last ever game you played happens to be a game winner in a final from a free kick when you're in your late 30s or whatever it was. I mean, it's just you couldn't have asked for a better way to go out.
he just knew when to hang the boots, man. Hate to see some of these players just
Yeah, I mean,
dando
and
pena.
he's this Ron. He's the second leading scorer in Pumas history, behind Cavino.
I'm just look. I didn't know that he apparently became a dad again at 62. Like this was 2 years ago.
Oh, damn.
Damn, dude. Oh shit. Didn't know that about
Still
him.
scoring goals. Off the field.
You still want to show me your cucumber?
Some bombazo, eh. Yeah, Tuca. Yeah, no, man. He's gonna be around for a long time.
Yeah.
Now it's funny that
yeah.
Go
What
ahead, Hoy.
happened?
Go ahead.
No, I was saying, like you said, to see him on TV, that would be very, very interesting. But who knows if he wants to do it?
Well, I
could see
think
him
that
doing it
like the
maybe
only
for a
games
World
he
Cup.
would do, yeah, or just do the Tigres home games, and that's it. If he
Yeah.
Whatever city he stays in, those are the only games he's doing.
Yeah, or a
Or-
tournament, he's there for a World Cup or Gold Cup. Like a World Cup, imagine all expenses paid. Fly you somewhere.
Qatar.
Yeah.
His companions might be walking on eggshells though, man. They don't want to say anything to offend Tuca. He's gonna go crazy. He's gonna go crazy.
Tuca's a teddy bear, dude.
He's gonna go crazy on the air.
You don't think he'll put Faitelson in his place?
It's funny because if he wouldn't, Tuca would never. Well, maybe he would. Imagine the way that Andre Marin tries to get under Brailovsky's skin. Imagine him trying to get under Tuca's skin and having it work, and Tuca just staring into him.
I really like how Pelaez called out Faitelson. That was.
Oh yeah, that's classic.
And Faitelson is like, "Come again," and he just tells him, "Man, he's like, you're stupid, man."
Eres un estúpido.
Yeah. Oh no, Cheekies, I have to ask you because I did watch it on TV. You can't really tell me, but did you feel that there was a bit of electricity, not just from obviously the stands were decent, but from the players too? I mean, were they playing more at half, more than half speed? Were they was it real live game?
Yeah, that's a good question because if you know like my cynical views and my thoughts on this cup altogether, I even tweeted afterwards. I said, have you ever been like in a pickup game, but you still tried your very hardest and you wanted to win so very bad? And that's sort of like a comparison that I was saying. I did see these players try their best. They were working hard. They they wanted to win. And immediately when I forget which goal, I think it was America when they went up 2-1. You could see the frustration and the anger in some of the Tigres players. They were like hitting the ground like Howard did back in the day with Gio's goal. So
Right.
they both wanted to win, and then when Tigres got the tying goal, it was just like and not just that, you saw it on TV as well. The fouls, the hard tackles. Salcedo got into a few uh, hard tackles and things like that. So yeah, they were definitely playing. The only
But
thing that I would say is like, but this seems normal from the America team of late with their players that they've been missing and all this. They were pretty much just sitting back. They're waiting for individual talent to get a counterattack and score a goal that way. Tigres had the domination as far as possession and things like that. So
Well, that was what America's fifth game in 2 weeks.
yeah,
I mean,
damn,
with their grueling travel schedule of having to go to Atlanta and Houston. Maybe a little further than Morelia, but
and then
I didn't know
but
about
I mean that is a bitch. That is a bitch that they had to play that many games in 2 weeks.
I don't think it's that. I think more than anything, it's that you're expecting the team to do a proper preseason, right? And then with you have the injuries, and then you have the players leaving, getting sold and stuff like that. It's like it changes your plans, and it's like we're 5 games into the season right now, and believe it or not, I'm a little worried because we're 5 match days into the season, and Herrera and them, he still doesn't know who the team's really going to be because they're trying to get 3. I was hearing that he wanted to get 3 players. He wants a center back, wants a holding midfielder, and he wants a center forward and stuff like that,
yeah,
and it's like okay, if they spend the money because obviously they do have some money to throw around, but it's like I'm afraid that it's going to be one of those things where it's like okay, they get a player like a Nico Castillo, but and it's like okay, I don't expect the new guys to come in and solve the problems right away. I mean that should have happened. What do you call it beforehand? You know what I mean? So
Ron,
and have a proper
I,
preseason.
I feel your pain, Ron, and I feel a lot of fans don't understand. Like, you don't have a good preseason, how it could affect the team.
It's going to affect the team. It's going to affect the team,
Yeah,
and my concern is it's going to do it right towards the end of the season.
and even like the traveling, I feel like sometimes they don't put that in mind. Just if a team has to keep traveling, so for like America, they're going to Estadio Universitario, to face Tigres again.
Mm-hmm.
So that puts it a bit more on them instead of having a home game. Now they have to travel yet again, so that makes it a bit more
Well, I mean, I haven't
difficult on
seen
them.
everybody's schedule, but I'd probably venture to say that America had one of the tougher schedules from the beginning of the season because they already played Toluca, and I know that Toluca was right now is pretty flimsy right now, but when they were going to face them, I was expecting a tougher Toluca because playing in Toluca is tough. It's always been a tough venue to play in, even regardless of how the Toluca team is. They play well at home and stuff like that, and throughout many minutes of the game, Toluca was the better team. Um, they also played Monterrey, and they won convincingly against Rayados. They played what was it Pachuca, I think they played. No, well, let me look. I forgot who all they
Leon.
played. Leon, yeah. So I mean, they're playing teams that normally I would expect in the playoffs. So I mean, this is going to be a big game for America because I mean, it's like say, all right, they're playing the two Monterrey-based teams that they've been pretty good as of late. Toluca's a tough venue. Leon's tough. So it's like I think the only team I didn't really like the way they played against Morelia, but hey, I'll take the win.
yeah. That's what I was gonna
I
say.
thought
They didn't impress in that game, and I
no,
think
they
that's
didn't.
sort of the trend of late because they lost to Atlanta. they didn't play well. They did win against Morelia. I don't think they played very well, and then they lost to Tigres. So and Piojo even complained like what you guys are talking about the travel. Piojo complained specifically about that, and he also complained about America needing uh, 2 or 3 more players, two minimum, to complete the lineup for the team.
Well, the conference the interview that I saw today, the phone conversation that I had with Jorge Ramos uh, today earlier, and he had him on phone interview. Piojo did say 3, and he specifically said he wants a center forward, he wants a center back, and he wants a actually not a holding midfield. He actually no, he said and then Jorge Ramos basically said, "Are you trying to look for the similar player like Mateo Uribe?" It's like, yeah. So he's kind of looking for that type of player.
Well, I mean, they took away one of his.
You
A
took
guy
it.
who's started for him for like 3 or 4 years. I mean,
Yeah, because keep in mind, Edson basically took the position away from Mateos Uribe, right? So not only did he lose Mateos, he also lost Edson. 2 important, I mean that position was vital.
right?
I
I
mean
mean,
that for me is that's why it's like I'm hearing like I'm hoping that the rumors aren't true, but with Guido Rodriguez, the fact that he's going to get called up again into the Argentine national team, it's only a matter of time where when Europe keeps
right,
comes
right.
calling.
Milan comes looking for him. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like,
But
geez,
you know what? But I mean, honestly, Ron, for Liga MX to get better, players like that, but those are the players that should be sold to Europe.
yeah.
They shouldn't be going for 6 million. Go for 30 million. Whether you're Mexican, Argentine, Peruvian, whatever.
I think you're right, but for me the only bright side that I can see of this is I'm really liking how the youngsters, the young guys from the second division and in the reserves, I'm really liking how they're stepping up. And it's not easy, especially when you're a youngster and you're playing in a team like America that's full of foreigners, and most of the foreigners they're national team players from Paraguay, Argentina, uh, Colombia and stuff like that, and Ecuador. I mean, these younger guys, man, they're stepping up and they're playing well. And I think Tena has a lot to do with that.
Is Capitan Furia still the youth guy?
Last time I checked, he was, and that's like
So he doesn't necessarily care about results as much as he cares about just making players.
I think he cares
That-
more
that-
about that,
that- that
about
kind of-
having that impeccable haircut that he's had for like the last.
Well,
30
I mean, good lord. I mean, yeah, he and you can use he and Nacho as like a you could paint your house with them in like 20 minutes. If you just did dip both their heads and just you could just go to town with both of them. So is that something, Ron, that has that changed America? So, instead of we've had guys on the show, we've talked to folks about the U leagues in Mexico, and they care more about winning the tournament than they care about developing the player. And it seems like America has kind of, and Pachuca to a certain degree, they've kind of changed. That they want to develop, they want to create the players. Who cares? They're not going to get relegated in the U20. So
Well,
just see what you got.
keep in mind the team that has produced, historically speaking, the team that has produced the most amount of players onto the national team has been America. So they've always been they've always produced players. It's just because of the whole media hype about bringing in the high priced foreign players and stuff like that, that the youth department always seems to have been taking like a back seat. So, but I am like I said, I'm really glad that that Dana and his staff are doing really well with the youth teams. Because I mean they've been winning. I mean they've been winning. When for example with Raúl Jimenez's generation, if I'm not mistaken, I think they were like 3 times. They won the. I don't remember if it was the 20 or the 17, but they had won it like 3 times in a row. And stuff like that. So it's like, they've had success at the youth levels at the 15, 17, 20 for the past 7-8 years. So yeah, I mean that's really the only bright spot that I'm seeing. But like I said, I don't I don't think that America should be one of those teams that's like. It's like some teams in South America, it's like they take pride that that they sell a player.
Don't start crying, Ron. It's okay.
No.
We're here for you. We're here for you, Ron.
You know how teams like some teams take pride that we just sold a player to Real Madrid, or we just sold a player to so and so team in Europe. It's like as a fan, I really don't care about that. It's like so what how does that benefit me? You know what I mean? As a fan, and and in the transmission, I don't remember if it was Hercules Gomez or the other guy. I don't forget who was commenting. He actually even made a comment about that, and I was like, yeah, it's like I agree with that. I don't think that America should be one of those teams where it's like they some of their success should be production, selling players to Europe. I don't think that's what we're about.
Well, if that's what if they were about, then they've done very well.
They have as of late. I mean, they've been doing it pretty well.
They've made $60 million or whatever it was this summer.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. So that's that'll help you plenty in Liga MX, and they'll be able to get exactly what they're looking for, and be able to easily afford what it is that they are going to get. So as Ron pointed out, that they're playing. So they play Tigres on Tuesday. They're playing Tigres again this weekend, and Tigres is then again is going to be moving on into the final of the League's Cup, where they're. Now, Joel, did you go? Were you in the? I don't even know what I'm just going to call it the Carson Stadium. Dignity, whatever it is. Were you there, Joel? Did you get a chance to go? Were you there representing the CantinaMX Podcast?
You're talking about for the Galaxy Cruz Azul?
Yes.
No, I did not go.
Oof, too bad.
I know. I thought of it, but Zlatan didn't even play. It's like,
So you, instead of going to go see your new gallo who played, you could have asked him a question. Paul Fernandez. You're upset because Zlatan didn't play.
I completely forgot about Mr. Paul. God dang, I'm a bad journo.
You're a bad fan.
No, it's been hectic for me. It's just been hectic.
No, I understand. It's very.
There's a few games that I would have loved to have gone. I would have. I really wanted to go see Galaxy versus San Jose just because how well San Jose has been doing under Matia Almeida, and it seemed like it was going to be a really good matchup, against the LAFC, who are top of the table, and we ended up seeing that golazo from Carlitos. So that one I missed, and then I completely forgot that there's going to be a Tráfico on Sunday, I believe. So man, I dropped the bar right there in applying for some of the games.
Good Lord, Joel. I mean, that's
I know.
I'm going to play this Joel, but it's going to be for us. It's rough. Man.
Oh,
it's rough. I mean, we're going to be sucking our thumbs, and wondering why are we getting all this great coverage.
I know.
Are we going to have to start sending the profe who doesn't even join us anymore?
He was on last week, but the indifference of the LA Galaxy is spreading to Joel.
Well, I mean, let's talk about the LAFC though. So LAFC, I mean, they're going to be, I mean, clearly have. What is their record right now, Chiquis? I mean, they got to be up by like 20 points on everybody.
LAFC is currently the.
Yeah, they are. They've played 26 matches. They've won 19, lost 3, and have tied 4. 71 goals scored, 25. They've scored against, and their differential is plus 46. It's like the next team, with that type, or like with a positive goal differential is Atlanta United plus 15. It's not even close in terms of the amount of goals scored.
Like the Western Conference, LAFC has 61 points. The second place Minnesota has 42.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's and Atlanta has 45. So they're, if this was a normal league, I mean, they would have, they would have already clinched or would be clinching the league, within the next few weeks. Unfortunately for them, they have to, they've already made, they've clinched the playoffs. So now they're going to be a team that's going to be, had the most points in the league by clearly, and 15, 16, 17 points. And now they're going to have to play with like 6 games or whatever it is in a playoff to and frankly in the big games, LAFC has not shown up.
Now, question.
In the big game, right? The it's like they're still hijo de papi against LA Galaxy, right? In Zlatan.
Right. Exactly.
Because I think what is the match? What is the head? They've only played once this season, right? And this will be the second.
Yeah, they have 2 more.
Okay.
And then, but then last year they did very poorly in the playoffs as well.
So hold on. So LA is going to play a Galaxy again?
Yeah, they're playing them either Saturday or Sunday.
Oh, so that's the game that Hoyle was talking about right now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
you
Sunday.
didn't apply for media tickets?
Yeah, Hoyle had a three banger games this week, and he missed out on all 3.
I did miss out on all 3. And the one interesting thing is that the Galaxy seem to be LAFC's coco. They just can't seem. There's the one team they can't seem to beat. So I mean, you hate to be a LAFC fan and then such a historic season for them. And then imagine meeting Galaxy in the playoffs.
And
Ouch.
Vela has scored he scored in the last game against Galaxy.
Yeah, but they haven't been able to beat them.
Yeah, it's just Zlatan does better. He takes it one level higher.
He one-ups him.
He scored 3 goals, I think, in the last.
It's because he has Zlatan level, and other players just don't have that level. It's like the if you have the rail gun in Quake. That gun, you're on.
I didn't take John for a Quake player.
Oh, I loved Quake.
Hey,
Quake was fantastic.
Hey, I'm looking at the Philadelphia Union schedule, and they said that they're going to play Pumas September 7th. Is Pumas is that just a friendly or?
No, yeah, that'd just be a friendly. That's going to be during the Fecha FIFA. So that's.
Okay. I may have to go if I'm still in. Yeah, in fact, I actually will be still in town. I may have to go then, because they're also playing. They're going to play LAFC on September 4th. I may have to go. Apply for that game for that one. I haven't seen Vela play for them in the MLS. Oh shit! So I mean, they're having some pretty good teams. They have Atlanta is coming at the end of the month, and then you have Pumas on September 7th, and you have LA Galaxy on the 14th. So pretty interesting.
You'll have to check that out. No, Carlos Vela what was the final score, Joel, in the LAFC? Because I know that his goal made it 3-0 in the first half. I'm assuming they won comfortably.
I think that was the
It was 4-0.
final 4-0.
Yeah, 4-0.
Oh, you're right. It was 4-0. Wow, 2 from Bella. Yeah, and it's crazy because Mati got kicked out and he wanted to fight a fan. There's a video if anybody wants to check it out.
Hey,
Put
it up in the Discord chat. Put it up in the Discord or in the Cantina. I want to see it.
Did the fan throw piss on him like they threw on Tuca?
No, he as Mati was exiting, he's yelling. he's saying goodbye, Mati, or something like that. It almost sounds like that little girl from what was that, Chandler's List, saying goodbye, Jews, goodbye. She's saying
That's dark.
adios, Mati, adios, and Mati gets just rustled, and he he starts saying stuff to that guy, and it's crazy because the way the stadium was, the stairs to go down were just right there, and the guy went up like he was gonna come down to meet him, and it's there was a lot of security, so I don't think they was gonna fight, but just
No,
to see, I
Jorge,
never seen Mati so riled up.
Well, he gave a statement on it, right? He was fighting for justice. I think
He
he said the ref was not playing it equal between the two teams, and he.
Oh no, but that was about getting kicked out. I don't know if the statement was
Well, yeah,
on
that pushed him over the
him
edge.
getting on fisticuffs.
Well,
Huh?
getting
now,
kicked out, he didn't know why, and that pushed him over the edge.
now, Joel, do you think that if this particular lady, this girl, as you say, would have said this, do you think he would have been as angry?
Que ching su madre
I don't-
el America.
I think going off of my other statement about Bella joining America,
Yes,
I would
yes.
also see Mati closer to Coapa than to Chivas.
So let's talk about that, Joel. So Carlos Vela, 15-year-old Wunder player
Yes,
at Chivas,
yes,
goes to the U17 World Cup and just dazzles the world, right? And
correct.
then because of that, and he's under the age of 18, so he has no player right
Yeah, you can't sign a
obligation with Chivas at all. Exactly.
Yeah, you can't sign a contract until you're 18.
Right. And so then Arsenal says, "Come on down," and he does it. And
Yeah,
he goes to Arsenal.
they had Henry give him a personal tour.
Right. So I mean, it was just like our friend Kit when we got the River Plate tour. He got the personal tour
Yeah, it was.
from Thierry Henry, and
Yeah, he did.
our Arsenal fan for life. So when he goes back to Guadalajara before he packed, the winners of the World Cup U17 players that were from Chivas all get a new car.
Yes, they're gifted with a car.
Except Carlos Vela.
Yeah,
Because
and
he,
you know what the messed up was, that they told them that to show up the next day, and so the story goes that he had someone drop him off thinking, I'm gonna drive back home in my new Prius or whatever Vergara got
right.
them. The
He had
the
Uber.
last
They
model
didn't have
Bocho, huh?
Uber back then. They didn't even have
They
Uber back then.
didn't have Uber, man. So he's thinking, yeah, I might
He had to ride in a
drive
pecera.
brand new Bocho, and everyone got theirs except him, man. Which must feel pretty messed up.
Who was
do
the
that.
GM? Who was the GM of Chivas at the time, at this particular moment in time? Do you remember who that was, Joel?
No, but I know that this was Vergara's call. This was not the GM's call.
Okay. And then who was the GM that did not talk
Was it
about
Nestor?
It could have been Ibar Cisniega, though, because there was
So,
positions got switched
let's-
around a bit.
Let's pretend it was Nestor.
Why
which
are
I
you
think-
blaming Nestor, man? See, there's a line to go down, and
I think
Nestor's
that-
not
that-
in charge
that-
of gifts to players, man.
I think that the way that Carlos Vela was treated by Chivas at the end was a huge. It set the seeds for what happened to Carlos Vela later in his career.
well, he did say that. I remember years, later. I remember hearing Vela saying that he didn't have any loyalties, or or he dismissed Chivas's development in there. Do you guys remember that?
Vaguely, because it's been so long, man. You're going back.
So yeah, but
Yeah.
I was unaware of that story about the whole cars and stuff like that. So hold
Yeah.
on. So who were the players that got vehicles?
It was Pata Araujo. Yeah.
Is it the guys from the under, what do you call it, the
Yeah.
The
Yeah, under
U17
17.
Chivas players that won the World Cup. They were
The
Chivas,
goalkeeper, I
out of the
think his
Chivas
name was
Academy.
Arias.
yeah, Sergio
Yeah,
Arias?
so they all got cars, new cars, mind you, new cars, except Carlos Vela.
And
Because
why
Carlos
was that?
Vela
He-
had signed for Arsenal. After
Yeah,
the
he
tournament.
had just, and he left on a free transfer. The only thing that Chivas got was
Right.
development rights, which was
Uh-huh.
pretty much the equivalent of like a few boxes of gancitos. And
Right.
They should have given him a
Not
basketball.
even just a half-eaten gansito.
They should have given him a basketball.
Room
He would have been
temperature,
happy.
for God's sake. Room temperature, for God's sake. By the way, PSA for the folks that have not tried it. If you haven't tried a frozen gansito, you have not lived.
oh, that's true. That is true.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, so Vergara was pretty mad.
So that to me, you know, that plants the seed for this era of distrust and discord, and then and of course, you know, the final nail in the hammer was when Nestor banned him for 6 months from the national team. I'm sure that at that point Carlos Vela's like, what is this guy trying to do? So, like I mentioned to you, Joel, I think that conversation we had when we were, you know, kind of doing a dual podcast earlier in the summer, when I said that Nestor Araujo was responsible for Mexico's
Here, I have a quote here. So they
underachievement with the talent level they had over the past 10 years. You know, we lay it fully on Nestor's feet. That is just another reason to add that to that theory. Carlos Vela. Go ahead, please.
okay, so they did a dinner for them. They had like a dinner party for the returning champions, and this was a direct quote from the Chivas Supremo to Mural. He says, falta Carlos. Si se va, entonces ya no se le entrega automóvil. Pero si se queda, tiene su coche. So he was trying to coerce him with the car. So, yeah, it's kind of stupid, man. So he said he never promised the players to give him a prize, but he decided to do it as an incentive.
Why is he going to get a car and then leave the team, take his car with him?
And I got Vela's quote too. See, I dropped the ball, but I picked it back up. Here goes Vela, man. He said, esto es cosa de ellos. Vine a la comida porque me invitaron. No sabía de qué se trataba. Ahora solo me resta agarrar el camión para regresar a mi casa. Dijo en tono serio. God damn. So
he did take the pesado.
But you know what? When I heard the story and I heard that he had, you know, that he had someone drop him off, thinking that he was gonna drive back. So I think they even though he's saying that you know, that he didn't know what was about. I do believe that story that said that he had someone drop him off thinking that he was gonna drive back, you know, because I think at this point he was already like driving. So I think he thought, okay, just drop me off, and I'm gonna come back after the dinner with my new, you know, my new Vocho.
Right.
So yeah, that was messed up.
He
man.
had no idea. He had no idea they were going to do that. So they basically publicly humiliated him.
But I know I do think he had. I do think he had an idea. You know.
Apparently not.
Well, no, I know he said he didn't, but I mean, I'm saying my personal belief is that he did.
Well, regardless, you know, like I said, you know, I think, you know, once again, I think we can win. You know, if people, you know, why did Mexico underachieve? 2 words, or actually it'd be 4 words. 4 words. Nestor de la Torre. Just like Jose Ramon.
Nah,
Nestor,
but I don't.
Nestor de la Torre.
Yeah, the hate is real, John. I don't know what Nestor did to you, but it's always.
Let the hate flow.
This is total because Vergara.
I honestly, Joel, I just to me, it's like, why is he treating players like 10-year-olds?
Well,
That's always bugged me. That's always bugged me.
because that's how they act. But I think that with the whole thing about
Yeah, but you know what? If that's
giving,
how they act, then that's how they act.
no, I know,
They're
but see,
grown men.
but this is the thing. Like one with the whole card thing, but the guy doesn't ask. Like, hey, what when he has an idea, he's just gonna go and do it. He's not gonna ask. What do you guys think? Uh, and
So you
that's
don't
one
think
of
he asked
them.
this question? Is this going to come back and bite us in the ass 10 years from now? Yes,
Nope,
yes.
I don't think he did. He's always done whatever he wanted. He's fired. He's moved people around. He's it, when you see what he squandered, like the talent he's had, not just in players but personnel and coaching. It's and with the whole player thing, that was all a decision made by the committee. So everyone agreed on that. So just to single one person out, it
Yeah.
when all
Nestor
the
de la Torre.
owners
I'll
were
sing about
involved.
all day long. Nestor de la Torre, all day.
Okay,
Actually, Joel, it's not that that I hate the guy or anything else. I just he's got some pretty big warts. Is all I'm saying. But I do think that he was not directly responsible. But I do think that he played a role in one of the reasons why Mexico did underachieve. And
wait, then Mexico underachieved where? He was gone.
in the last 10 years, like they could have done better with the talent they had.
Yeah, but he didn't like yeah, I don't wanna go too far off, man.
We don't want
We're
to go down the
veering
rabbit
from the
hole.
league. No, I don't see the point of it when we got the league and we're going back.
No, you're right.
Man,
You're
we're
right. You're right.
going back like 10 years or more. I mean, what?
But it's funny you were saying that word about bittersweet with Chivas fans about Vela. If he went to America, and Mati would do the same thing. As a
I do, yeah.
as a fan of Mexico, I think it's bittersweet. It's like, man, this guy could have been doing this for the national team for the past 10 years. And we talked about after the last World Cup that he, Giovanni, and Chicharito spent a grand total in 3 World Cups where Mexico played 12 games, 12 matches. They spent a total of 16 minutes on the field together. 16.
Man, that's so little, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I do think with Vela it's interesting. I do think it's a number of things. And I think part of it's been like a lot of the responsibilities with that stuff that they want you to do. And I just think that that's never been his thing. Uh, like I don't think he cares much for a lot of that stuff.
Right.
I haven't even seen Vela in advertisements the way I saw Gio when he came. That you saw him like
Yeah.
doing stuff
Gio
for
had no clue.
Denny's. He was doing stuff for Pepsi. He was all over the place. I haven't
Did he
seen
do
anything with Vela.
did he do local stuff? Yeah.
I saw him. He did a signing for. He was at a shoe store signing, but other than that, like I don't. And I don't know.
He didn't
Maybe
do
someone could correct me, but I haven't seen him doing anything, and I don't
he didn't
think he
do
cares.
like any like local like Tommy Burgers or
It's,
or
yeah.
any of the local joints. No, you're right. You're right. I don't think Vela has done those ads at all. And I remember even in the '06 World Cup, Giovanni was like 15 years old doing the Pepsi commercials. So, obviously they had a different way of monetizing themselves.
But
in the
Giovanni never threw the first pitch at the Dodgers game, and Vela has.
Yeah, but
Is that, is
that's
actually,
that,
that's
yes,
stuff
he
he
did.
likes, though.
Giovanni did do that.
he did do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, going to do that, that's like something he likes to do.
Yeah.
So it's not sort of like go do this to promote the team. Like if he's
Yeah, he's
getting
not
a
down with the
Lakers
commercial
jersey or
stuff.
whatever, and that's stuff he likes. That's stuff he likes, man. He
Oh
enjoys
man, with
watching all those
both
other sports.
the Clippers and Lakers, they're going to be good this year. Carlos Vela's going to be on. He's going to be on TV a lot.
Is he going to be the new
Sitting
Jack
watching the
Nicklaus?
game and
Jack Nicholson.
That's right. That's right.
But I was thinking,
You remember Chiquis when the Bulls won their first NBA title? The first person that Phil Jackson's, the first hand he shook wasn't the coach. You remember that?
Phil Jackson, the first hand he shook was
When Phil Jackson, when they won the Bulls won the first in Los Angeles, remember whose hand he shook first?
no MJ.
Oh,
No, I don't remember. Magic
Jack
Johnson.
Nicholson.
Oh, Jack Nicholson.
No. You had Jack Nicholson. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
because he was seated right next to
yeah,
him.
it's
Yeah,
right
that was
next
the
to him.
first guy that
Yeah, they were probably
whose
chatting
hands he shook.
the whole series. They're probably
Was
chatting back and forth.
That's great stuff. But anyway, going back to Vela Chiquis.
Yeah, I was just thinking like if the whole imagine if Vela that minute stat with Vela, Chicharito, and Giovanni's interesting, but imagine if Vela had or had the desire, like everyone wants, to play for the national team and to play in Europe. Say he was like the next Griezmann. I still don't see Mexico doing huge things like that, like a France. Of course, Mexico isn't a France, but uh, I wouldn't be surprised if Vela, the one man guy, doesn't take Mexico to even the fifth game. Because I think it you need to have more than just one huge star like a
Oh, sure,
superstar
but
Vela.
I mean,
But yeah, I mean it would be exciting. It would be neat to see. But I don't think people are going to say Mexico's going to win the next World Cup. I think in big soccer a long time ago there was a guy who had his username like Mexico will be champion or something like that. Mexico champion, World Cup champion. That's it's nice to think about, but I don't see huge things from just one single player. There needs to be multiple players doing.
Do you agree that Mexico's a equipo de segunda, like what Tato Martino said?
Yeah, I sort of do. I mean, that's just
You do?
the
yeah,
reality
I do
we live
too.
in.
So hold on. So for the past 20 years, Mexico's been at least top 16 at least, because I mean they're making it to the round of 16.
Yep.
So what, to be level one, is it, what do you have to be?
You have to be at least a constant quarterfinalist and occasional semifinalist.
Yeah, and at
And
least win like if America
and
I
Mexico
know.
would win a Copa
well,
America, that would help.
every now and then you could bomb out in group stages, but as long as you've been to a semi, been to
So hold
quarters.
on, do you think Chile's a world class, like, first here?
I, I think
No, I mean, they didn't win Copa Americas, but I mean, Chile to me, I mean, I mean, aside from that, they've never made the salto.
But yeah, you know what? I think for that short period when they had, you could say their golden generation, they were like at that level, but they lack consistency.
they
Well,
were
they
You know
also
what I
never.
got
mean?
really unlucky.
Were they ever a real contender though for a World Cup? That's the whole question. Like if you make
Well,
it
I
to
think their best shot was '94, but they ended up playing Brazil at home in the round, and frankly should have beaten them. I mean, they had a couple of shots there, if I'm not mistaken, in the second half that hit crossbars and stuff. I mean, they should have won that game, and then they ended up losing in penalties. But I think if they play anybody else, I think that they would have probably made it at least the semis for sure.
I would even say like for sure somebody who's a team that's been to the World Cup or even won it, you're automatically in that top tier. Where when it comes down to the quarterfinals, even semifinals, then you're talked about. Okay, this team can very well win the like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
Chile
but I
wins.
mean,
Exactly. If you make the
I think
quarterfinals, you should be considered a team that's in the conversation to win it. Absolutely.
yeah, but I was a consistency, because like you have Croatia, and they could just as easily just fall off the picture next cycle. The way we've seen other teams we go far like Turkey and
I
whatnot.
mean, this was the first World Cup, if I'm not mistaken, to Croatia since '98 that actually made it past
Group stage.
the group stage.
Yeah, because
They didn't do it in
I
'02
remember.
or '06. I don't think they did it in '10, and then they didn't do it in '14. Yeah. Did they even make 10? I don't remember. And then they also didn't play particularly well in the Eurocopas too. So this was kind of a they just kind of got it going. They got. I watched that match with a bunch of Argentines in a bar in Austin. Place was really quiet. It was really quiet.
So you guys want to delve into league play this weekend?
Yeah, we'll jump back into that here with veered off course there a little bit, and we have, if I'm not mistaken, Chiquis, I believe doesn't Pumas play on Friday?
Yeah, early
Yeah.
game for Pumas against Morelia. Another.
Morelia, who have a brand new coach,
Yeah.
Pablo Guede, and Argentine, pretty reminiscent to Mati. He's racked up quite a few cups. Uh, he's, most notably with Colo Colo, and he also coached at San Lorenzo de Almagro. Not sure if he's been there long enough to cause an impression, you know. Those saying técnico que debuta gana, even though that's not true.
That's a terrible. Yeah, I disagree with that, especially this week.
You heard it?
I have
Called
heard.
one
Yeah.
of the. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but usually that saying, and it's usually because when a new coach comes in, even if they don't do anything, a lot of times a lot of the players give it that extra 20%. They're trying to,
Fresh.
impress. Yeah, but might be too early to tell what this guy is gonna do with the Monarchs, but
Little
that's
butterflies.
that's what and they're hosting, so we'll see. We'll see. It should be interesting game, John.
It should be, and then Pumas has started the season reasonably well. They got a couple of wins against teams they should have beaten, and then lost a couple of games to teams they probably were going to lose to, and then and did, and then they got another win against Veracruz, which frankly was making me a little bit more nervous than it should have. But they ended up getting.
You don't want to be the
They
team
do.
that breaks
No,
the
you don't.
32.
You don't.
What is it? 32 games losing streak.
And let's let Chivas let's let Chivas have that honor because we know it's coming. We know it's coming.
Ooh.
But yeah, so we
Ouch.
have Pumas is Pumas fans should be reasonably optimistic that after what they've seen in the first 4 or 5 games, they have a chance of making that. But will they make a run? Who knows? But they into the top 8. I don't think they have the horses to win it. But, stranger things have happened. If they catch a little hot streak, then they can certainly do it. But they do have a better defense, better midfield, and better forwards, and they seem to have a coach that at least ever since they got rid of Memo last time, or Memo Vasquez rather, the last time. All he did was take you to two final. Oh, Chiquis, I don't know if you feel the same way that I do, but it seems like they don't suck, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think you're cutting a little bit in and out, but yeah, I definitely agree. They don't have the legs to go too far and be doing great things. But I still think they could probably contend for the 8th spot and get in Liguilla. Solid guys or older guys, Pablo Barrera, and still doing things, still looking pretty capable out there, running up and down. Carlos Gonzalez and then Malcorra and all those guys. So yeah, they're they're fighters, so I think the matchup against Morelia is a good one. Even though it's away, I think they could still pull it off.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that they'll leave Guerras Michoacanas with with victory. And also on Friday, we have Atlético San Luis is making the trip to Veracruz. Joel, the owner of Tiburon Rojos, Mr. Curi, had his Twitter account hacked by fans who all miraculously spoke in the same tone and wrote in capital letters all of the hacked tweets that were on his account, all describing their displeasure with what has happened with their once proud club, the Red Shark of Veracruz.
Could be. Also, wouldn't put it past it being a PR stunt.
You don't think for a second, Joel, that this was a concocted scheme in order to get some publicity to you.
I am
No,
wearing my tinfoil hat.
no, it's hacking is a major problem in Mexican soccer. I mean, look what happened to Sage.
Right,
He got he
twice
got exactly
with
twice.
the
He got
pack.
hacked.
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
know. I don't know why. They just keep hacking Mexican league, personnel.
They
You
write
gotta
their
watch out.
they write their password in their profile. I think that's where they.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I just had to bring up that, But all right, go
Yeah,
on.
it seems to me, Joel, I kind of agree with you that it just looked a little too, kind of like the responses to Fight Till Sun. They're just a little too good, you know. So it seems like it's all it was a bit of an act, but it worked. They got people talking. The people talked about Veracruz for about 25 minutes on a Wednesday, which is 25 minutes more than people would normally talk about Veracruz on for a month. So they play Atlético San Luis, who when you turn them on, I know that they don't play very well and they're wearing Chivas colors, so I'm sure the and might confuse them with Chivas, but no, that is Atlético San Luis that's playing.
Yeah, and
That's it's a relegation game.
it's a relegation battle. And but San Luis is coming off of a big draw against Tigres, so that should give them something to bank on right there.
And they have beat
Yeah, Tuca was
Rayados.
not
More
happy after that.
confidence.
Question. So if there's still relegation, this I thought it was going to get put on hold, or I thought it was going to be done away for a while.
It's frankly, I'm not sure. I think the rule is if the team that comes up doesn't have
The resources.
if they don't have the minimum requirements that they need, but I think all of them have it now. I forget what then uh, then the team that would have been relegated pays them like whatever 10-15 million dollars.
Okay. Oh,
But
okay.
I think now what happened this last year is a team did have didn't meet the minimum requirements to come up. It was Atletico San Luis, but Veracruz could pay to not be relegated. So that's why there's 19 teams, and I think they want that to happen one more time, so that they have 20 teams.
So okay, all right. I
So
still don't
the
think
team that you can either be relegated, or you pay I think it's like $12 million, whatever it is, to stay in the league. Whether a team comes up or not. So I think ultimately they want to get to 20 teams.
I thought it was like 6 million, maybe.
Whatever it is, it is
6 million pesos. So it's like 20
St.
US
Louis
dollars.
just paid what $250 million to have an MLS franchise, and these guys are paying $6 million to stay in Liga MX.
I was gonna say,
What do you wait, Chiquis,
yeah, go
don't
ahead.
mean to cut you, but when you see those numbers, you can kind of understand why there's a Leagues Cup and a Campeones Cup, and why there's, why the Mex League wants, could benefit from a partnership with MLS. I
But
know a lot of Mexico fans don't, don't like it, but you're just not gonna get those numbers in Mexico. You know,
Not for 20 teams. I can
yeah,
Liga MX is made to be a 16 team league. I think even 18 is pushing it.
But how?
yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's about all
also
I can
around
do.
you could see teams like America, Chivas, etc., making more money in
Uh-huh.
the long run playing over here against a Galaxy or a LAFC or whatever than playing against Veracruz and a Morelia and a lot of these other smaller venue teams.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
Veracruz
It's
or
a,
Atlético San Luis aren't gonna uh, take advantage or aren't gonna benefit from any of these leagues, cup or
they
championships because
won't they won't, but I mean the
But
in the long run it's not, and and you got to see like in Mex, like some of these teams don't have very good TV deals. In Lobos Buap case, they couldn't even get a TV deal. Big reason they also ended up selling their franchise. And then you have like just the gate. You can't make that much money off of the gate when you have to offer tickets at $5. We just talked about at the start of the season how Chivas had to slash prices in half.
but
Yeah, but Chivas prices for tickets were crazy for Mexico. Crazy. There's no way
but
anyone was going to spend that.
yeah, but a couple weeks back I posted videos of new stadiums that are being built in Mexico, and one of the things that surprised me was that there's quite a few stadiums that are being built, and they're beautiful in cities that aren't really historically haven't really aren't known to be like football markets, soccer markets. They're usually baseball markets. You guys like remember seeing those uh, videos that I posted? Like of those, I think Merida's one of them. I'll have to look again, but one of the things that is like that has me wondering is like it's like all right, if they're gonna move to 20 teams, and it's like I'm hoping and I'm hopeful. I mean, I'm being optimistic, and I hope that right now I'm like I think that right now the Liga MX is suited for 16 because just of the amount of investors that they have. But I'm hopeful that some of these like markets that are like crazed with baseball and they pack their stadiums. I'm hoping that can transfer and they can turn those into really good soccer markets and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's like understand what you're saying. Joel, that like in the long run that maybe it is better for America to play up against against Atlanta or Galaxy. But I think the negative in there, the drawback in that is that but in doing so, you're not going to develop uh, markets here or you're not going to develop other markets in Mexico, like like places like in Campeche or Merida or Mazatlan and stuff like that.
Well, I
Well, I mean,
feel
there's
that
no reason why you can't do both. I mean, it's not like they're playing MLS teams every week. I mean,
Hmm.
they're going to play MLS. And to me, honestly, this to me is it's not as good, but to me, it's a reasonable alternative to playing Copa Sudamericana, and you have a lot more. When it's expanding to 16 next year, it's going to be 32 the year after that, and
Is it really?
yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just playing around. I thought you were like, no, it's going to be
No,
16.
I'm being that's no, it's going to happen.
Oh, okay, okay. But is it all going to
No,
be played in the U.S. though?
well, see that I'm not so sure of. I mean, I think that it would be better if it was. The thing is that if Philadelphia Union goes down and plays Puebla, I mean, how many people in Puebla are going to go see that game?
Right. I mean, at this point though, I mean, if it's going to be just put in the U.S., to me, it's just another glorified Giants Cup,
Right.
Um, but if I understand that doing the home and away could pose calendar issues, but I would be in favor of like you're doing a draw, like after every
Yeah,
round,
exactly.
you're doing a draw. So it could be in Mexico or it could be in the U.S. and maybe having the final at a designated, like a year in advance where the final's going to be. It's going to be in Mexico City, or it's going to be,
Right.
in Atlanta or wherever. But yeah, like I said, but if they're, as much, it's funny that you mentioned the Sudamericana, because I think that they can build on the League's Cup if they do it right, but I still want to see Mexico Liga MX in the Libertadores.
Well, I think everybody does, but I mean, unfortunately, that's just not viable for Mexico. I just don't see it happening, especially now with Libertadores changing
They're changing it again.
The format they have now. It's
Oh.
not. It's unfortunate, but ultimately, Ron, I think what's going to happen is, remember the South American teams got a little taste of what could happen up here with the Copa America. So it wouldn't shock me at all if the League's Cup expanded and it added teams from the Argentine League, the Brazilian League, the Colombian League, etc. I think that's what's in my opinion, the League's Cup is the first step to making
the Pan American Cup that they wanted to do.
Yep.
Yeah. That'd be
and look, there's already little by little they're making it more attractive. And I know there's a lot of resistance still from fellow Mexi fans. But we're seeing it. Carlos Vela, who wouldn't want to go see him play? And same with Zlatan, and the Miami team just announced Cavani. And so, and not only are they getting players like that, they're also getting some of the mid-tier players, like they did with Ruidas and El Brian Fernandez. So, I mean, it's little by little the league is improving. It's not like you have one really good player and then the rest are all from the college system.
Yeah, and I think the League's Cup is going to be a big. I think it's going to be big. I think it's something that's going to grow into something.
So what happens to CONCACAF champions?
It happens. I mean, that's the thing. Is it they do this in this part of the calendar, and then the Coca Champions happens when it starts in February.
Okay. Well, hold on. They're playing right now. The Central and Caribbean teams are playing right now, if I'm not mistaken, right? I thought I saw something on Twitter.
They're the ones that are playing the first round, and then they qualify for the knockouts.
Okay.
Where right now the MLS teams and Liga MX go straight into the knockouts. So like the Coca Champions doesn't even happen at this time of the year. So that's why I would much rather if Mexico. Where would you rather have? Would you rather have Club America play a real intense game against Atlanta United, or them have to go to Trinidad and play W Connection?
I don't know. Joe Public, or was it West Connection? They beat Chivas a couple years back. So I don't know.
It was the Nicaraguan team. It was the Nicaraguan team. Yeah.
Oh.
Nicaraguan team.
Snap. Hey, what's up, Hugo?
Isn't Shelahu from Belize?
No, I think they're from Guatemala. I'm almost positive they're from Guatemala.
They are from Guatemala.
I looked that up. I forgot. Yeah, Guatemala.
They still celebrate that. Hey, it's a big holiday over there.
It should be. I have a friend who married a Venezuelan who was I forget what she was a fan of one team, and she was telling me, because I said that I was a Pumas, because when we beat Pumas at Libertadores, it was she was trying to obviously make me feel bad about it. I said, you know what? I said, the fact that you think that beating Pumas is the greatest win of your history, I said, that says a lot more about your team than it does about mine. And she didn't find that funny.
Picking on the minnows, man.
No, I mean he asked. I said, "Who would you rather play?" Atlanta or some team from. I'm like,
Boca.
I don't know.
Boca or River, man. That's who you'd rather play.
You know what we need to do, gentlemen, is we need to figure out how to make it to cover that crucial Mexico-Bermuda match in Bermuda. It's like in October, I think it is, or whatever it is. We need to figure out a way to go
What's
cover that one.
what? Okay, so
I would not fly there.
instead of Molero, you got to coin that the Bermuda match. What would that be called? You got to figure out a name for that. Like yeah, something. You're not going to no mall. You're going to the beach.
Yeah, I've been to Bermuda. It is very nice. Not a bad little place. So to round out the schedule there on Friday, it's Santos and Monterrey. Santos lost their first match quite convincingly, actually, in Aguascalientes. AXA, so their 4-game win streak to start the season. Point where it's no longer their this is no longer their domain. It's actually Querétaro who has 13 points and a goal differential of 8 who are in first. Usually, when a team like that, like if Atlas is in first place, after Jornada 4, you're like, well, we know that's not. But Querétaro has wondered. You have to start wondering. Is this a team that we're going to be seeing at the end of the season too? And he's taken Querétaro to a final before, so foreign territory for Vuce.
They haven't played the really big teams. They did beat Cruz Azul 3-0. They were sort of on a downward spiral at the time, and they beat Toluca, who's Toluca's not doing well this season. But they haven't. Other than that, I think this matchup, this coming up weekend against Leon, is going to be a good one. They do have some good players. I am impressed with. I mentioned last week Luis Romo, who actually was called up for the national team for their little mini camp.
He was the only one who's out of the Olympic age eligibility. Who he's like 24, who was called up. Everyone else was under 23. He's 24.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess
he's been impressive.
I guess Tata called him up to check him out before he wants to call him up for real. But not bad for. So you like Romo? Is he like Tony Romo? Is he that kind of player?
No, he's like a. He's not like a leader quarterback type of player, but he's a defensive player that goes on the offense, and he scored. I think it was a hat trick like 2 weeks ago. Really good footwork. Plays the ball really well with his feet.
Really?
And yeah,
as good as that trophies.
Well, he's way taller than he's like what? How tall is Trophy? Like 4 foot.
Trophy's like 3'8".
3'8". So this guy's like double the size of Trophy, so not as good on with the the height difference, but yeah, it's not. He reminds me of what's that dude's name? Aldo de Nigris a little bit, but he's a defender, so a little bit different type of player. But yeah, they have some good players on the team, and I think Vucetich has been doing a pretty good job, mixed in with not too hard of a schedule they've had so far. Yeah, it's not too surprising where they're standing at right now. The Necaxa game was a bit surprising for them to beat 3-0 against Santos. Santos had like goal scoring opportunities left and right, and they just kept on missing.
Santos hit like 3 or 4 posts, didn't they? It was.
Yeah.
They hit a staggering amount of posts. Yeah, they just sometimes you just have a game like that. And Santos, as we've pointed out many times on this show, a team that's been relatively consistent. So hopefully they will continue. Did we just lose Hugo? Did he just drop off?
Yeah, I think his mic was muted the whole time. So yeah, he
he
disconnected.
Didn't have anything to say. So you're right. They do play León, and then Cruz Azul plays Puebla. Cruz Azul is starting to. They're starting to pita maquinita just a little bit. They've won in the league, and then they also won the League's Cup, so they're in the final. They beat Galaxy, and they are. If you look at Chiquis' little the map that he draws, the little animation that he puts together after each week, Cruz Azul they're one of the teams that's moving their way up, not the other direction. So. Joel points out they have a very good playmaker in Joel Fernandez, who I'm not gonna lie, Joel. I know that he looked a little rusty against the Galaxy. He was his
Yeah.
passes were short. He did not have he didn't come in and set the world on fire like I was expecting him to do because we've been talking him up. We've been talking so much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he just arrived, so I'm gonna give him, you know,
You know
a
who
few
we
more
need to blame?
games.
You know who we need to blame Joel for his lack of production? Nestor de la Torre. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Nestor. But you know who is playing well with Cruz Azul is Orbelin.
He is, and he scored a really good goal against Galaxy, and he's he's a good player, and
Yeah,
Tata had him on the Gold Cup roster. He didn't get that much action, but he make things
yeah,
happen.
he's a good talent, and he had
¿Cómo estamos, chavalos?
hey, what's up, Jaime? You came right on time. We were just talking about Orbelin beginning to play well.
Pinche golazo que echó ayer o el otro día.
Yes. But I think it's good to see him back, and I think he could, fight for a spot with the selección. But I mean, you could just see Cruz Azul, so the players that they have, and they have the other guy. What is it? They was injured. He's just returning. Midfielder as well. Elias.
Oh, Elias
Um,
Hernandez, right?
That's top to bottom. That's why for me they're one of the candidates to win.
Yeah, they're a team that's going to go from the menos a más for sure, and how they end up playing toward the end of the season.
Yeah,
They play Puebla
and
this week at home.
well, that should be because I mean, Morelia already announced the new coach. Puebla has not announced the new coach, and ironically, that they face Cruz Azul because the big name for Puebla is Juan Reynoso, former Peruvian was in international, but he was Peruvian defender. He was even captain with the Cementeros, and he was assistant coach at Puebla under Ojitos Mesa, and they're saying he might come back.
We'll see. They need to hire somebody for a couple of weeks before they bring Chelis back.
Actually, no weeks. It will be till next season.
Oh, it won't be till next season.
Yeah, if you get sacked in the league, you can't coach until the next season. You have to wait. Sit in the box. Yeah, this is a good match for Cruz Azul, though. I think at home against Puebla, they just sacked their coach. Should be a good win for them.
So you don't think we'll be hearing this, Joel, after the match?
No nos merecemos este equipo y no nos merecen como afición porque les falta actitud, les falta partirse la madre.
Ouch. No, Lady Machina.
She's quite something. Pachuca plays Atlas Saturday as well.
The game with Puebla and Pachuca where it's Chelis, right? He was the one that was coaching Puebla, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, it's kind of ironic where they lose 4-0, and El Negro de WhatsApp makes an appearance before the game. It's like, am I wrong to think that?
You still want to show me your cucumber?
Oh man, the thing of Atlas is Atlas lost at home.
What?
To Cruz Azul 3-1.
What?
Who said what? Who said
Jaime,
what?
Jaime.
You don't know who El Negro de WhatsApp is?
No, I know who he is, but
Oh, what? Some dude, like put on like a costume, a prosthetic, and he ran into the field. Was he?
no
in the
way,
field?
he did.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Was it
on Twitter? Put Puebla, El Negro de WhatsApp, and just watch the.
Was it Chaton Enriquez? Was it him?
Chaton Enrique.
No.
Chaton Enriquez dressed up like El Negro de WhatsApp like a couple of Halloweens ago.
Oh, damn. Hey,
Oh,
well,
man.
I want to
Yeah.
give some context to some of our listeners who might not know who El
I think you
Negro
just
de
got to give them a
WhatsApp is.
visual.
I don't know.
That's a
They
negative.
Google it if they want. But it's mostly from Mexico, right?
I want to ban Ron.
You're going to have to label this conversation as over 18. They're going to have to sign into
It
YouTube
will
to
be.
confirm
It
their
will be
age.
Ron,
bro.
man. But I think the Mexican users of WhatsApp, they started like they turned this picture into a meme, which I heard that it's Photoshop. I don't know. Chiquis is a Photoshop expert. You might want to analyze that for us, Chiquis. So it's what? It's a dude from Nigeria, is it?
I don't know where.
Ron?
I don't know where he's from.
He's standing there, and displaying his twig
And
and berries.
the cops didn't want to subdue him too. The cops. Puebla.
Don't act like you're not impressed.
Puebla Negro de WhatsApp. All right.
Oh man!
I found it on Twitter.
You found it on Twitter. The towel.
So
is
what? This dude was he just walked on the field
just walking off the
with
field,
some
man.
assless chaps and just went for it or what? I mean, I guess if you're gonna do it, you might as well go big or go home, right? You know?
He did go big.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a send off for Chelis.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's kind of like ironic, you know. It's like, okay, the Negro de WhatsApp makes an appearance, and then they really take a pounding, you know.
He could be the Liga MX version of El Chacal.
That's right.
You just give him a trumpet, and that's it, dude. You lost a heavy match. He shows up, plays the trumpet, and that's
You know what he could. You
coach
know
is
what he could play, Hood. He could show up and drop a little recorder.
gone. Oh man, flauta.
Yeah.
But
Sorry to interrupt you guys. Moving back to the league.
no, we were talking about Atlas going into Pachuca, and Atlas lost last week. Kind of heavy loss. Cruz Azul. So I think they're beginning to
Well, that's the thing about
stumble
Atlas.
here.
Yeah, is how when they lose like that, how long does it take them to recover? And that's what you have to look for Atlas. Because say this, but like 9 times out of 10 when they lose like that, that's usually like the beginning of the end. Especially if they've been playing well, it's kind of like the beginning of the end for them. They unravel after losses like that.
And they're meeting a Pachuca that's coming off of the 4. To go full circle here, coming off of
That's
the
right.
big win, the big win over Pachuca. So
To bring it all back.
Yeah, they have the power of the WhatsApp. So I mean, ouch! Not a good game for the Rojinegros. But yeah, and if we go off of John, this should be another loss for Atlas, and set them back to where they belong.
But Pachuca they've only won one game this season. It's not like they're doing so hot either.
Yeah, they're just both teams are struggling. So this is
yeah, but
Atlas have 3 wins though.
That's right. They do have 9 points.
Yeah.
I do, but it's just my reflexive reaction when I see Atlas lose the way that they did. That you just have a feeling that they're going to just go right into the tank.
No, but also when you see like the progression. So I mean, to lose at home, that's a pretty bad loss. It
was 3-1
to lose, and then you have to travel, and the team you're gonna play is coming off of a really big win. So and if we look at Atlas games, their 3 wins. It was against Veracruz, who have like 30 losses. They everyone just whipping boys. They lost to Santos at home as well. I mean, that's ouch.
Isn't it like it's been over a year since they won a game or something like that?
Yeah, it's been 31. They've lost 31. Well,
So
they
some
haven't
of the
won
other
31 games in a row.
some of the other
They've
games,
tied.
Atlas
Wow.
beat Morelia, which is not that strong of a team. So I mean, they got to face some teams that weren't that strong. I think that's made them look a bit.
Yeah, I mean,
You
well, I
know,
mean that's the what we will see. What this is a game in Liga MX where what who are we going to learn more about in this game? Are we going to learn more about Pachuca? Are we going to learn more about Atlas in whatever direction they go? So it's
yeah,
it is a game for it is an early crossroads game for both teams.
yeah. But I mean, like Atlas, that you have your wins, but they're against like Juarez, Morelia. They're against some the
You could
bottom of
say
the
it
table
against
teams.
equipos chafas. You could say it,
Yeah,
Quinn.
yeah. And the thing with Pachuca is, they're mid-table, and most often than not, they'll fight for the campeonato. So
How's
that's
Sambuesa playing for them? I know he plays for Pachuca now,
oh,
right?
Zambu. Yeah, they sent him back. I heard that he was causing problems in Leon. So they
Mm,
were like, all right, you're gone.
They
I haven't
He
seen him
he
play.
hasn't been lighting it up. He's been
no.
okay, but he hasn't been his old self with America, or even before that. He hasn't been that good.
On Sunday, Toluca gets who has also had a very rough start to the season, a customary rough start in Tijuana, and this could be this could be Ricardo Lavolpe's last stand here, and
Yeah, it's a home
when
game.
it is a home game against a team that plays at sea level, so
Yeah, it's true.
there's definitely opportunities for Toluca to win this game.
So you're thinking it's you know, do or die for La Volpe.
I think so. I think it is definitely do or die. And they just had a really unfortunate injury. Part of the national team call up with the Toluca killing. His name is Medina. Broke his leg in one of the national
that's sad to
practices.
hear.
Yeah, it's a really unfortunate injury,
You
and
know
he was
who would be in line to take over Bigoton?
Chepo.
Yes, it will be Chapo. So I like La Volpe, but I want to see Chepo working again.
Then he should just come back to Chivas again.
I do too. He's a good coach, man.
No, he is. His numbers, man. I think people
you
just
know
still stuck on Selección with him and disregard.
they asked him about the game this weekend, and La Volpe did have a.
Yo siempre digo que el fútbol algunas veces, en mi punto de vista, es como un ajedrez.
So more words from Ricardo. No, it's definitely his a game that he has to win, and they probably should win against Tijuana because and Tijuana with Oscar Pareja, they're not doing too bad. They're they've had a pretty good. They have another great home field advantage too because they play on that awful field, which seems to really screw up everybody. But Tijuana are kind of hovering in that 7 points, so that they're not. They've had a decent start. They could get. And of course, the last game of the week is
Yes.
Guadalajara against Necaxa.
Mero.
And
It's the
I'm going to
game of the
ask the
week.
game of the. Oh, it's not the game of the week. The game of the week
Nah.
is
Los
Veracruz
Gigantes.
San Luis. Veracruz
Final
San Luis.
adelantada, John.
Veracruz San Luis. That's right. That's exactly right. So we have Necaxa coming off a 4-0 ass whipping of Santos.
Isn't it three?
A can of.
It was 3-0.
I thought it was 4.
No,
Well, the 3-0 was so bad it should
looks
have
like
been 4.
4.
It looked like 4. It looked like 4. No, so 3-0 whipping of a team that had won 4 in a row. So it wasn't like they were just beating anybody there in Aguascalientes, and they're playing in against Guadalajara. The most popular team in Mexico, not just in Mexico, probably of the fans that live in the U.S. The most popular team, and of course, it's not going to be on TV.
It's on YouTube though. That's good
Maybe
enough for me.
it's gonna be on YouTube again.
Yes.
In
I'm not
English.
complaining.
Be on YouTube again.
I don't have cable anymore, so I love this. I hope they go another season without a contract because being able to pull it up on YouTube is amazing. And then you
Yeah,
get
I
to
agree.
go in the
How
live
is that
chat
any
and
different
troll
to pull it
people.
up on? Oh, I see what you're saying. So you get to yell at people.
It's just
You get
I
to
will
shake
say
your
this.
fist at people.
I didn't the first time I looked for their game on YouTube, just clicked on the first thing and I didn't realize that they also have an English broadcast and it's tough to watch.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. I don't know
I kind of
who's
want to
network
like
it is.
volunteer and be like, "Hey man, can I take over? Cuz I can do a better job."
That is unfortunate.
Question:
that they,
When you shown, they're not doing the English broadcasting anymore games, right?
They did.
Facebook, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they do it anymore or not.
Because it's all, I also don't have cable anymore. I just have Hulu Live. That's really the only thing that I have. So I'm like, I don't even have Univision Deportes anymore. So basically, everything that I do is I just go to Facebook and go and search, the game, and I'll try to watch a live feed, But yeah, so it's like I was hoping to get those Facebook, games, but they're Univision's not doing them anymore. I mean, I've checked the past couple of weeks; they're not doing them.
I don't think they've done them all year.
Yeah, they haven't.
So Chivas, they were down 4-1 against Leon. They made it respectable with a couple of late goals, make it 4-3, and but now they have a game against Necaxa, which what I would consider a winnable game. And now, are these the kind of games, Joel, for if Chivas have league aspirations that they have to win?
Yes.
Do they have to win this game?
It's very important. But the other key to that is having your delantero scoring, and Bully right now has 4 goals. He's made the top. He's in the top goal scorers list.
Wait, Gulli has a
First
job?
time huh?
Gulli has a job?
Gulli? I meant Pulido.
Oh, Pulido. Oh, I thought you said, I was like, what? That isn't
Oh,
a double.
Yeah, no, but it's good to see him scoring. And a lot of those have been penalties, but he's scoring. And Vega has also been pretty consistent, even though doesn't have the goals, but he's gotten penalties, and he's been pretty. I mean, he scored the golazo against Leon. It's just very nice to see. So you have some of these players that I told you, John, Chihuahua comment next year. They could get Macias, and that's it, man. You have a good, interesting strike force right there.
But how annoying is it that Tomas Boy doesn't rate Vega as a starter over Alta?
Ouch. Yeah, it is. I can't defend that. I've been a boy defender, and there's only so much I could do. I agree with Vega. He's on fire, man, and I've always been of that. If you're going through, even Valdano had the great quote on it. He said it about Chicharo. Like if you have a player that's on fire, it's you play him. Right? They're going through a good moment, put him in.
Well, let me ask y'all a question. Maybe what Boy is doing is that he's making Vega just earn. He's making him earn the job. Maybe he's not doing enough in practice. Maybe Oriba's just better than he is in practice.
That could be very well. And, I don't discard that, John.
But then again, I mean, doesn't he earn it though? Don't he seem to earn it with what he does?
I'm pretty sure Peralta didn't join Chivas and didn't agree to join, switch rivalries just to sit on the bench. Like I'm sure they told him you're gonna be starting like X amount of or X percentage of games. Like that's part of the deal. That's why we brought you here.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. With Jaime says.
Yeah. So I think Vega is just unfortunately having to he got the short end of the stick, but it's obviously working for him and Pulido.
Well, maybe it's better for Vega to come off the bench right now. Man, there is no shame in that. Chicharito was hot, and half the games he came off the bench.
Yeah, Chicharito had to beat out. He was almost in a very similar situation as
Mm-hmm.
Chivas had Borghetti.
Well, but Sir Alex benched the EPL's leading scorer for Chicharito in the Champions League final.
You're talking about ¿cómo se llama?
Berbatov.
Berbatov. He didn't even make the bench. They picked Michael Owen over him. Embarrassing. How do you put Michael Owen over Berbatov? It's like, what?
He must have done something to piss off Sir
But the
Alex.
thing with Oribe is what has he done? Like even with his time on the field, has he done anything productive that he's even deserved that keep that starting
Oribe
role?
Peralta hasn't scored in like a year and a half.
Yeah. So
Serious.
So what is he? How is he earning his spot as a starter? Where Vega has obviously scored, and seems to be in a better.
But
He's just cashing in on his experience points. That's all.
Did you not hear what Jaime said?
What did he say?
Oh my God! Are you listening to this podcast, bro?
I know, but that.
Oh,
he hasn't done it. He hasn't done anything.
He
doesn't matter. But if his contract,
it's part of the agreement.
Yeah. Okay, so
yeah, regardless if he was playing bad, he's still a hot commodity. He still sells tickets.
No,
if
that
he
don't
went
matter.
to Chivas, it does matter because you make money.
Yeah, but if you're losing,
you sell ads.
If you're losing, you're not gonna sell tickets anymore. You're gonna be down on the in ticket sales.
Yeah, but I mean, you wanted the players, and now if you agree to whatever demand he had, then you have to make that work.
That should never be in a contract. That shouldn't if I was a coach.
Do you play FIFA? Like the game FIFA?
No, I don't.
Oh, so in career mode, when you sign a player, you have to tell them their level of importance to the team. So crucial, important, sporadic, rotation, and prospect. So basically, Chivas signed Uribe like as a crucial player that he's going to be playing pretty much every single game. Like that's the expectations of when they brought him over, and that's why he's playing these games, even though he's not really producing.
But you seem to say, would you say that he has written?
What happens first? Does Veracruz win or does Oribe score another goal?
I think Oribe scores, man. He
Oribe
already
did score, but it was disallowed, right?
He was slightly offside.
Yeah.
And they could just give him a penalty.
Just barely offside. He was so offside they shouldn't have called it, right, Jorge?
Can we just agree on one thing, that Pulido should not be allowed to take penalties? Just like Parba shouldn't be allowed to take penalties anymore.
But doesn't Puli have 2 scored in a row, though?
When he doesn't do the hop, he scores. He's not a bad penalty taker. What I'm saying is, like, Oribe, in his contract, if it states, I will be a starter for X amount of games or whatever,
that his contract states that. I just think that that's just the...
Okay. So then Boy needs to have more gall and take him out and bench him. Needs to do what's best for the team, not just because I signed him as a crucial player. Well, he's not acting like a crucial player, so he needs to be lowered down to mediocre. And
I agree.
And the better player.
I think a few more games, and then Tomas Boy will be like, "Hey, man, I gave you a shot. Obviously, you're not putting out numbers." I think right now, because we're in match week 6, 7, like it's a little bit too early.
Not going into 6.
Yeah, so I think that's why it's like, I gave you like 10 games, and now it's like, boom, you're done. You're on the bench.
Well, I mean, again, right now, let Vega beat him out. If he beats him out, then Oribe was, and Oribe would be fine with that. But if Vega's not beat him out, then my question is, does Chivas play better with Oribe on the field or not? Whether he's scoring goals or not, does the offense move better with him on the field?
They play better with Vega. He's more dynamic.
Do they? Okay. Well then.
You would hope that Oribe would be the kind of player that holds up play, plays his back to the goal and sort of sets up the wingers and Pulido. You think that'd be like his role on the team?
He did participate in Trophy's goal.
Oribe did?
Yes.
So that was going to be my next question. Who has the better relationship with La Trophies? Oribe or Vega? on the
and
field?
will probably be
Who does
Uribe,
trophies
man.
have more chemistry
Trophies
with?
already gave Uribe some props, and he's like, "Hey, man, a big reason that I've been improving is you know."
Well, then you know what? Uribe has to stay on the field. Then, if it's better for La Trophies, then that's what has to happen. Better
I
for La
do, and
Trophies.
I do think that's one of the other things of having a guy like that. But I think I can't use that excuse anymore because Vega is doing so well. But I say like in the past, he would just take all the heat, you know, being in there. Like all the focus was on him. Because I think there was some of these players just couldn't handle just being on the limelight.
Right.
So
And
predictions: you think Necaxa will beat Chivas on the road, or you think Chivas will handle business?
oh well, Chivas is hosting. They're at home.
Mm-hmm.
Chivas has been doing very good at home. So I could see I mean, it'll be disappointing if they lose. I could see a draw though.
I see a 2-2
I would.
draw. That's my
You
prediction.
see a draw, but I would make Chivas slight favorites. But they do have like, I think it's like 4 wins in a row now, 4 or 5 at home. So I want to see that continue. The Akron's becoming, you know,
Akron.
respectable again.
Well, has it ever been respectable? Have teams gone into the Akron and go, "Oh, I'm so scared to play here with the half full seats."
Oh, you gonna do us like that, John?
He meant to say
gonna do us like
Jalisco.
that, John?
He meant to say like Jalisco.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like you know, you might as well walk into like a hospital room, which is so sterile. You know, it's just you know, Texas Stadium had more atmosphere than. There's nothing going on, man. Even Atlas games have better atmosphere than what happens at Chivas.
Even the San Jose Earthquakes have a better atmosphere. Nah,
damn.
not Chivas have atmospheres just when the right teams come. If we look at their last five head-to-head games against Necaxa, 0-0 draw, 2-2 draw, 3-1 victory for Chivas, 1-0 victory for Chivas, and a 3-3 draw February of this year. So the numbers favor Chivas. I think it's a 2-2 draw at home.
How is Chivas doing? They're like in like 5th or 6th place or something like that.
No, they dropped.
11.
They dropped too.
They're number 11. Necaxa is number 9.
Necaxa is even higher than theirs. Yes, so
same points. It's just goal difference.
Right. I kind of agree with Joel. If Chivas want to go further in run, then these are the games they have to win. So I think that a win here puts them on a very decent track, and it gets them going for for the meaty part of the season. So I think that they get the win, and Osboy will continue to torment Chi Hermanos.
Yeah, and you know it could be a high-scoring game. So 2-2, like Jaime says, but I do see some of these players pretty hungry. So I do hope.
I'm a little bit I'm still a little bit salty about their last meeting, that 3-3 match, because remember Chivas came back, they were down 2-1.
Did somebody miss a bunch of penalties?
It was like 2-1. They came back and they scored 2 goals, and like I think like within the last like 10 minutes we thought it was like the game winner, but then like on the last play of the game, Necaxa scored the draw, like 94th minute. It was insane. So yeah, I think you're right, Jolie. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game.
Yeah, exciting.
So
like Jaime said, match of the week.
Yeah, it is. Don't sleep on this game.
Match of the week.
And guess what? You don't even have to have cable to watch it. What a time to be alive.
We've had enough of America Tigres.
Too many matchups in the last couple weeks. It's just getting kind of stale.
I see that game being pretty like close, 0-0, maybe 1-1.
Yeah, I think Tigres got that one. I think America is going to be wiped out, and then it'll give Piojo a chance to to bitch some more.
Can I ask you guys a question? Do you think
You
this
may not.
Tigres?
You may not, sir. I'm just kidding. Go
Do you
ahead.
think? All right, I'll be quiet then. No, Tigres America, does it merit the word clásico now, or is it
No.
too soon?
I think if they continue to play games like this for maybe another 10 years, then yeah. But right now, no. I think it's just. I mean, it is the two teams over the past 3 or 4 years that have played a lot of big games, but I don't necessarily would call it
It's like a modern classic, I guess.
I mean, it's just it's the best matchup right now in Liga MX. I'll definitely call it that. It's the best matchup in Liga MX right now.
Yeah, I agree. You have to keep up with it, but it's becoming one.
A derby.
I know the fans are having fun. I know the America fans are having fun disregarding it. So that's funny. But I think that helps build the animosity. And so, yeah, I do think Tigres is going to be, they're going to want to beat America again, drive that shiv, further the wound.
And this is
Hay niveles, okay?
This
Yeah, but and I agree with the niveles. The Tigres, in the past 10 years, they've been up there, man.
How many international titles do they have in those 10 years?
There you go.
Yikes.
Ron had to come in with
They've
this.
been concentrating. They've been concentrating on the domestic here. So
I mean, how many international cups do any Mexican teams have? To be honest.
Well, you know what? They did reach the Libertadores final.
Yeah.
Which they lost.
Yeah, but they got there, and I think I do think they'll win. They'll win one pretty soon. But I do think Tuca being Tuca, I think his focus has always been the league.
Well, he knows how to get to finals.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, it's past my bedtime.
Yeah, it's time to wrap it up here. But I'm glad that we
work.
yeah. Well, I'm glad that we were able to space out our show tonight just in time to let our one of our resident. We have like 5 resident Chivas on this good Chivas commentary before we wrap it up here. But not everybody could join us, and I'm not sure if there was a chat going on YouTube or not. I would.
Yeah, Carlos Diaz, an America fan, gave his support to the Aguilas.
Well, we wouldn't want it any other way from just the fact that we had another Aguila on there. I will just just a little bit, because we always play we play the other one so much that I always feel like we need to play the America one occasionally.
I'll permit that.
Play that out for our fellow America.
Yeah.
But obviously we have the one. But we won't play that one.
Music to my ears.
Because they haven't earned it. Chivas have not earned it yet. Though I did see fun in Acapulco last night, which if it was his fears and dives off La Quebrada. As any divers want to do, comes up and sings with about a 30-piece mariachi band Guadalajara.
Word.
When Joel, when you dove off the quebrada, did you have a mariachi band at the ready for you?
Crickets. I think he went to bed.
Yeah, he did.
Nothing from Joel. Anyway.
I think we're gonna have to do a little bit of ASMR, to end the podcast. Get him some sleep.
Isn't that the whispering talk?
Yeah. All right, guys.
Ron, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's getting late over here.
I know it's rough up on the East Coast, but we do appreciate you joining us.
All right,
and defending your Aguilas, even though they, shot themselves twice, not once, but twice in the Leagues Cup final.
They said, "You're not going to score on me. I'll score on myself."
Right. That's right.
Yeah,
fans can walk away from this goal saying, "I saw America score 4 goals in one night." They won't have to say the second part of that of that statement. But what they say is true. They saw America score 4 goals in one night.
Yep.
Not bad.
That story will change. Thanks for hopping on, Ron.
All right, guys. Later.
Later, man.
Vicky's, thanks for setting this up here on the Discord. We seem to have at least for me, it seems like the audio kind of cuts in and out. But you'll, I'm not sure.
Yeah, like right there.
Yeah, you kind of cut out. I think it's your internet, exactly. Bro.
No, I mean my internet's fine, but I mean it's not just me. I constantly hear other people cut in and out too. So.
Yeah, interesting.
What's up with that? Maybe I'll try it on the.
Maybe it's because you can't handle the truth and it has to cut out.
Well, I definitely can't handle the truth, but usually technology doesn't kick me in the nuts every time I don't handle it.
Yeah.
Is it better to use Firefox or Google for this thing?
I use the app.
There's an app. I use Chrome, so it's been working fine for me. I've used Chrome. Well, I use the app as well, but for the podcast, I've been using Chrome.
Yeah, you can download the desktop app, or you can.
Oh, is there a desktop app?
Mm-hmm.
I'd much rather use that.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
But anyway, we'll get on with our little tech talk a little later. But right now, we need to wrap up the show. So, Cheekies, thanks for coming on. Jaime, thank you for hopping on getting a little Chivas talk in late. We do appreciate that.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Of course. My name is John Jagu, and for Joel Aceves and Ron De Luna, our campa and Jaime Landeros, my name is John Jagu. This is the CantinaMX Podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll talk to you again next time.